Wednesday, December 13th. I'm Rim.
And I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights. Tonight we talk about the rise and fall of anime music videos with special guest Jeff Tatarek.
Let's do this. All right, so today we're here and we're going to talk about anime music videos. And to entertain everyone to the maximum potential, we have brought on an anime music video expert. So no longer will you pun us in the forums after the show, but we will be punned live for your listening enjoyment. So here we have with us Jeff Tatarek, anime music video expert. Hi, Jeff. What's up?
Yes, that's me. Hey, how's it going, guys? I guess I should establish my geek credentials to begin with. I've been doing anime music videos since 1989, which is right around the birth of the entire movement. Was a fan right about that period in time as well, so I'm firmly entrenched in the Voltron, Tranzor Z, Robotech stage of fandom. Like I said, I've been doing it since 1989. It's what my college degree is in, mass communication broadcasting, and I've got like 10 years experience professionally editing for TV news stations and at the local affiliate level. I'm still active in video production and duplication these days. So as far as the technical aspects go, I got it down. And I've been doing this longer than I think most people have doing them these days. They've actually been alive, which is a frightening thing. I started saying I was old school when you were in kindergarten, and I think with each passing year that becomes sadly more and more true.
Well, let's see, we were born...
I was 7 when you were making music videos.
Yeah, I think that's right, because we were born in 82, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm the elder.
It's not too far from the truth.
Well,
there are people 15,
both
16 years old. Wow. And there are people 15, 16 years old who are making videos now and consider anything from 2000 to be old school, which is painful.
Wow. Yeah, well, at least we were both watching Voltron at the same time. I think we just...
Vehicle team or Lion team?
Lions.
Of course.
Vehicle. I didn't even know there was a vehicle team Voltron until college. I did not know...
Oh, what the hell with both of you? Vehicle team all the way, mainly because the lead pilot was named Jeff, so that's cool with me.
Whatever.
See, I hate to admit it, I was more of a Mask fan, and I regret that to this day.
Yeah, you still have that.
Oh, don't regret that. Mask was good.
Hey, I have all the toys.
Go try and watch Mask. It's not good anymore. It's like go back and try to watch He-Man. Not good anymore. It just doesn't
He-Man's
work.
good to make fun of.
I guess.
True.
But that's not the thing to brag about. Anyway.
So, anime music videos. I mean, we have often complained that we hate all current anime music videos, and we like to think, oh, well, back in the day it was good, but your back in the day is long before our back in the day. So, I guess...
Yes.
We're not too up on exactly how the anime music video scene started or what it was like before YouTube and computers that could just edit video on the fly and all that stuff.
And digital video cameras that were readily available in stores.
And, of course, Naruto.
Yeah.
And an internet capable of distributing the videos, either over FTP or BitTorrent.
The first AMV I ever downloaded was literally an AVI that was like 100 by 150 pixels to Sailor Moon.
The first AMV
wow.
I saw was at the first anime club.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I didn't even know they existed. I was confused. I thought they were showing real music videos because they showed white reflection. It threw me all off.
The first AMV I saw was back in 1988 or 1989. I can't remember which. At one of the first conventions I went to, called Dixie Trek in Atlanta, Georgia. It was done by a guy that I became fast friends with. Ever since. His name is Matt Murray. He's with Cornpone Flicks, which is a fan-run parody film site. They do a lot of live-action fake trailers for movies that will never be made. They also made one of the first anime parodies called Star Dipwads, which is sort of a retarded retelling of Star Blazers. Matt is good friends with Dave Merrill, who a lot of fans will know as the man who gave birth to Anime Weekend Atlanta, which is now, ironically, one of the largest, if not the largest, convention that has anime music video programming in it. Matt had a room party. He was showing Star Dipwads, and he also had some music videos he's done. I'm trying to remember the exact things that he did. He had a couple of Weird Al videos. One was to Christmas at Ground Zero with a whole bunch of apocalyptic footage. The other one was slime creatures from outer space with a lot of monsters. And the last one I remember seeing was "The Bird" by the Trashmen. Everybody, "The Bird is the Word." That song,
Yeah.
using footage of the Dory bird, which is this sort of black bird with a tiny little neck that sits on the shoulder of Captain Harlock.
Oh, I know that bird.
Yeah,
Yes.
Now I know the name of it.
we're slowly
Thank
working
you.
our way through all that is Harlock, and it is both joyous and horrible at the same time.
So I guess you've seen the dubs, the Ziv Harlock.
A few. Well, I mean, one of the first anime I saw was Galaxy 39 on Sci-Fi Channel. So.
Oh, so was that the new dub or the old dub where he's called Captain Warlock and he sounds like John Wayne?
I'm pretty sure it was Captain Harlock when I saw it.
Oh, you were lucky.
Yeah, we're not that old. We never actually saw things like Warriors of the Wind.
Yeah.
That's a subject of one of my best music videos.
Really?
Oh, really?
Yeah. If anyone wants to check out my profile on animemusicvideos.org, you can go to shrinkster.com/CHI, Charlie Hotel Indigo. And the video in question is called, I think it's Nausicaa the Reluctant Warrior. It's set to Mike and the Mechanics' Why Me? It's a fairly long video by today's standards. It's over 5 minutes long. But back in the day, my day, which would be, I guess, around 1993 or 1992, you guys are familiar with New York City, of course. So have you ever heard of a convention called Icon on Long Island?
Yeah, I've heard of it, but I don't know much about
Okay.
it. People keep mentioning it.
Yeah. A good while back, there was an Icon that had a mini convention within it called ChibiCon. And they had one of the first music video contests, and they only had one prize, which was Best Video of the Year. And the Why Me video took that prize, and it's still held as a favorite for a lot of people who've grown up with music videos for longer than the mid-90s. Getting back to where I started with talking with Matt Murray. I saw his stuff, really liked it, became close friends with him because his stuff was tight, it matched the beat, it went on the lyrics, and this is still when he's just using 2 consumer-grade VCRs to edit this thing. Cue up the tape, pause, press record. Oh wait, it didn't work. There's a rainbow. Recue both the tapes. Try it again. Unpause. Oh, there's a flash frame. Can't use that. So if you imagine doing that process, trial and error, over and over again, without trying to bust your VCRs and turn out something that looked as good as what he had, it really inspired me. And got back home, started college that same year, where they had a JVC professional grade VHS editing deck. Just 2 decks. They could do assemble edit and video insert and 2 tracks of audio insert. And that's all it was. And I had my first music video done within a couple of months after I started college. It took like 2 days to edit. And that was on my profile. It's the one is the Akira music video set to Twisted Sisters, The Kids Are Back. And I recently remastered it with DVD footage, which is amazing to be able to do that now. It's so easy to do it on the computer at home without having to, sneak into the TV studio at the university and make sure no one's using it for something that's actually worthwhile. But
yeah, that really seems to be kind of the biggest, I guess, complaint or anything about people who talk about AMVs, that as it's gotten easier to make them, there have been more of them.
There have been more people doing them. There are considerably more videos, and there are considerably more people who should have no business making music videos. simply because it is so easy. I mean, with great power comes great responsibility, and I don't think a lot of people understand that. They just see it as the new hot thing. They see a lot of people doing it. They wander past a contest going on a convention, seeing all these people laughing and cheering at what they're seeing on screen. They think, hey, there's that little thing on my computer. It's called Windows Movie Maker. I wonder if I can do something with that. So they'll download however many crappy encodes they can get off of Kazaa or LimeWire or whatever, and it's got it's all chunky. It's probably in real media format, or it just looks terrible. And you think, hey, I can just take any music I want and slam 3 minutes worth of stuff on top of it, and hey, I got a music video. And they couldn't be more wrong in my estimation.
Well, then, kind of a 2-part question here, but what would you think was kind of the golden age, or when did the best AMVs overall come out? And I guess pursuant to that, what makes an AMV good in your opinion? Like, what is it that makes one click versus one that just doesn't?
I would say the golden age is any time between, just more or less arbitrarily, between 1989 and 1993 or 1994, because that is the point where if you wanted to make an anime music video, you were stuck with videotape and only videotape. And if you had the patience to sit there, whether in a university setting with a professional deck or at home with 2 VCRs, 2 high-five, forehead flying erase VCRs, then you probably wanted to do it in some professional capacity, or else you were just really obsessive and willing to take the time to do it. And I think as a result, there was some crap. Sure, there were some crappy videos back then, but by and large, the community was much smaller. It was made of more dedicated people, and fandom was still small enough that I think it got more appreciation just by the number of people that were around. They didn't get lost in the shuffle of the big conventions of today, and they didn't get lost in the shuffle of everyone else's music video. There weren't contests in the first few years that I started doing them. It was simply something that you might show a couple at opening ceremonies, or you might try to sneak one in during some dead space between stuff that was shown in the video room. It wasn't really something meant to be made as a competitive video. It was something you did for fun, that you just wanted to say, hey, take a look at what I did. This looks pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, it does definitely.
My first music video premiered at a Christmas party with maybe 5 or 10 people, and I had no aspirations of trying to get into a contest just to see if I could win something. It was just like, I did this. It looks pretty cool. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, definitely compare that to today, where every con has the AMV contest, just like they have the cosplay, and people go from con to con, and it's this huge deal. Who won what, where, and I've won this many awards, therefore, blah.
Therefore, I'm excellent. Well, maybe not. What was the second part of your question again? What do I think makes a good music video?
Yeah, I mean, I guess tell some of our listeners the videos you think, like a couple of them, 3 or 4 maybe, that are really, really good, and what you like, or at least what would make a video that good to where you'd remember it and it wouldn't get lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, right now, my very favorites, I would have to go with Failed Experiments in Video Editing by EK. Simply because she's a really good artist and took some of her actual failed attempts at trying to make a music video. She had a good concept, but couldn't really get into the editing past the first part, or had a really good song, but the editing didn't really work. And then she linked all these together with cartoons that she had done about the process. Editing on Premiere, the edit, beer, edit, beer, and then render. That one is really good because it's genuinely funny, it's well-paced, and the effort shows. Another one is Shameless Rock Video by Absolute Destiny, which uses footage from Footy Cootie, FLCL, and a cut-down song. I can't remember the name of the song now, but it's a really good song. A lot of good digital effects in there that don't overwhelm the video. They fit in very nicely. It's very tightly edited. It's just a beautiful thing to behold. Tainted Donuts, which is one of the first videos I think that really took compositing to a new level. Taking 2 dissimilar titles, Trigun and Cowboy Bebop, and managing to stick a character from one into a scene with the others, like Spike and Jet are looking at Vash the Stampede, and it looks pretty good. I think that one set a new standard that everyone tried to ape from then on out.
It did. I remember right before it came out, or at least right before everyone started to be aware of it, I remember seeing a similar video someone tried to do to the same 2 anime, and it was, I won't mention who did it, but it was god-awful.
I don't think I remember who did it, but I do remember a time when everyone, had the idea that you could make a music video where you combine different shows together, but no one had actually been able to do it, technologically speaking.
Right.
Until
well, as an aside, one other thing that I did in addition to music videos is I was among the pioneers of fan parody films, along with Matt Murray, C.P. Smith, and the rest of the guys at Cornbone Flicks. I did animation versus live action. Granted, it was cutting back and forth between the 2 sources, but it was without any kind of real compositing. But it was my homage to the great flame wars that happened on BBS systems across the country in the early days of Usenet. Who would win in a fight? The space battleship Yamato versus a Star Destroyer, Captain Harlock versus the Enterprise. Who would win? And my films, X-23 and X-23. The full title is Super Hyper Mega Bloody Ultra Cosmo Death Extravaganza X-23. And its sequel, X-23 2 Electric Boogaloo, which was the co-production with Matt Murray. Ended up being 2.5 hours long, but man, we told so many jokes in there, it was impossible to edit down. Literally impossible to edit it down. I look at so that was, I was able to cut back and forth between animation and live action sources there, and still able to tell a good story. But then along comes Tainted Donuts, and maybe there's one or two things ahead of that, but everyone remembers Tainted Donuts, where it's composited very nicely, and people hold that as a good standard. What else do I think makes a good music video? Being able to appreciate your source material, both your audio and your video. Pick a song that has lyrics that you can match a video to. Being able to edit on the beat. There's a video that got a lot of hype on the West Coast. It was footage from Ixer 1 set to Metallica's Enter Sandman. And most of your listeners, and you guys have probably heard this song, where there's the guitar solo, and then right in the middle of it, James Hetfield says, boom! And in that music video, the editor completely failed to put anything at that very natural sync point. And that bothered me. And it bothered me more that people thought this was a fantastic video. And here I am pointing out, no. Look, he missed this very crucial point. Did absolutely nothing with it. So that's something that I look for as well.
Yeah, I do have to agree that when videos don't match up, like with the beats, that gets on my nerves more than anything.
Actually, what bothers me even more than that is when they match up the lyrics to what's going on in the video in a direct, non-metaphoric, stupid way.
Yeah, well, sometimes they do it in a way that really takes you out of the video, and you're like, wow, that's dumb. But sometimes they do it in a way that's, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm talking about, like, they said the word hand. Oh, here's a picture of someone holding their hand up. Oh, they said the word TV. Look, there's a TV. I'll hand to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It works if literal stuff like that works if it flows. If the stuff they're showing ends up flowing together. If they're just showing random shots like, ooh, TV, ooh, hand, ooh, face, ooh, eyes, then no, not so much. I mean, they're showing some technical acumen by doing that, but they haven't polished it. And I think that's a complaint that I have about a lot of music videos these days and their editors, is that they've got the technical expertise. They've moved beyond just a basic Lincoln Ball video, which for your listeners who don't know,
Lincoln Ball.
the insidious fusion of a song usually by Linkin Park set to random fight footage from Dragon Ball Z, and there are literally thousands of those.
I think we might have to
talk about why there are thousands of those. Like, well, didn't the 999th guy say, hey, there are 998 of these, maybe I should make something else?
No, he thought, I'm going to make it so much better than all of those fools who don't understand Goku's true pain.
Perhaps.
No, they're probably both thinking also, I want to be number 1,000. That'll mean something.
Actually, at RIT Anime for an April Fool's showing, because we always showed a bunch of anime music videos before the show, or before the showing every week, which honestly, as the years went on, got harder and harder because we just couldn't find new good ones that hadn't already been shown in past years. And they were probably out there, we couldn't find them, but what we did is we showed, I think, 5 or 6 videos, and they were all to Dragon Ball Z Linkin Park in the end.
Oh.
And then, to top it off, we bring out the last video, and I promise you guys, this isn't to Dragon Ball Z. And then Linkin Park in the end starts, and it was like Gundam Wing.
And then you woke up in the hospital.
No, you would be surprised how not angry the club was.
Yeah, 150, 200 people in the room, and they'll pretty much sit there until the lights come on. Then they'll kill you, but they'll at least stay until the lights come on.
Oh, that hurts. That's painful.
All right. So before you mentioned that the golden age was like way in like the early 90s, but a lot of videos you mentioned as your favorites came way later. So
yeah, mostly because that's the ones that I mentioned are ones that can actually be downloaded these days. Some of the ones that I remember as being really good in the golden age, stuff done by Matt Murray, Bobby Seco Beaver, Derek Jackson goes by the name Jingoro, and there are others that I can't remember off the bat. They simply aren't available for download. They exist maybe on VHS in the corner of someone's closet, and that's about it. They were never uploaded.
And why doesn't someone do that? Is it just laziness, forgetfulness, not caring, or
not knowing?
Knowing?
Not knowing be the main thing. AnimeMusicVideos.org does have a proxy service. Some stuff has been at least documented, if not uploaded. In fact, I've probably got a lot of Matt's music videos hanging around here. He's at the point in his life where he doesn't really care much about anime anymore, and he cares even less about what fandom has become. So he doesn't care about his music videos anymore. So I might have to take him up and upload them to the org as a proxy, because this stuff needs to be shown.
I would say, in addition to that, what if, say you got together a panel at a con or a showing room at a con, and it was the old school anime music videos there's no way you could have ever seen before thing?
Unless you were really old.
Like, or actually did them.
Yeah.
I would have to call something like that "Respect Your Elders," just because I don't think that in a way it's a handicap, because the internet is the monster that it is now, and anything before then has been left by the wayside and completely forgotten.
See, I don't know. I do see a lot of people on the internet now who, if they find out there's something out there that they could have seen that isn't on the internet, like an anime that no one ever even got from TV onto a digital medium, a lot of them they have this collector compulsion, and they'll freak out and do anything they can to get it and watch it and distribute it just to say that they could.
I mean, just today I saw a website full of 80s commercials, all on YouTube, and it was the most fantastic thing ever.
I love the 80s commercials. I always throw some of those into the mix at Anime Hell.
That's perfect.
I think that, and I'm going to be mean here, so I'm speaking in
We're fine with mean.
Here. I think that the anime music videos community is split into the hopeless consumers and the hapless creators. The people who are too busy making their next world-beating anime music video that may or may not be that great, and the people who exist to do nothing but consume it. And then you've got the subset of, on both sides, the people who come onto the AnimeMusicVideos.org forums and, for all intents and purposes, blare through a megaphone, "How do I download these videos? How do I watch them?" Despite the fact that there are stickies right above their heads on the forums that say, "Hey, how do I download this?" or "How do I get this thing to play?" Or, the people who have obviously, by the little date next to their name, have registered that very day and probably haven't done any kind of lurking or looking around on the forums or the main site that has all sorts of informative guides, and post, "How do I make a music video?" despite the fact, again, that there's a sticky above their heads that says, "How do I do this?" Yeah. More often than not, they're going to get flamed to hell and back. Some people are helpful and try to help, but I think these people are pretty hopeless to begin with. I think that, and maybe this is a role I can fill, there really needs to be someone who's a combination of American Idol's Simon Cowell.
We don't know about that.
I know. I'm not totally divorced from pop culture, unlike you, Scott.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, he's the really caustic British judge who, if someone sucks, will come straight out and say, "You suck and you should never sing ever again." Simon Cowell crossed with Al Swearingen from Deadwood. Someone who's not afraid to tell someone that they suck and probably stick a knife in their back at the same time.
See, to us, you're preaching to the choir. We've always wanted a site, kind of the way OC Remixes is for AMVs, where they look at them and they only put up the ones that they think are good, like kind of a filter. Because, I mean, I guess I'll ask you this question, but the technology is better now and it's so much easier to make music videos, so you'd think that the people who are good could be making just even more amazing videos. So are people making amazing videos and we just can't find them in the chaff, or did the good people just disappear?
Some of the good people disappeared. Some of the other good people do nothing but work all year on the music video, the single music video that they're going to put into the contest at AWA. I think those are the big things. There's no one person who's churning out several good music videos a year, or even several people doing that. I think it really falls into The people who just churn out garbage and have all this amazing technology at their disposal and just throw stuff up randomly because, hey, it looks good, even though it doesn't really fit. And as I said, the people who are, in fact, really, really good and are just working on their next killer app, no matter how long it takes.
Well, I mean, the technology, though, must enable the people who are really, really good to make, more better videos. I mean, if they made, 10 good videos with the old technology.
You can't make 10 good videos.
They should be able to make, 20 even better videos with the new technology. So while, you've added, this giant mountain of crap, there must be, the total sum of good stuff must have increased, or has it not?
Yeah, the good stuff has increased, but the crappy stuff has increased exponentially more. There's just a lot of stuff out there that should never have been made, or at least never released to the public. It's one thing to make a music video just to practice and see if you're any good at it and show it to your friends, and they say, hey, that's really good, and then they release it to the org, and it is lost amongst literally hundreds of other videos that are almost just like it, just aren't very good.
Well, I get, but I've got kind of two ideas that I've been batting around for a long time as to and why it's so hard for the good videos to get distributed versus the crap videos.
I know what your two ideas are.
Yeah, because we pretty much agree.
I have a third idea.
All right, but I would like to hear your thoughts on this. One, it seems like most cons now will show any video you send them, and they'll have a room where they'll just show anime music videos and anime music videos and anime music videos and anime music videos forever. Or even if it's not a dedicated room, they'll still have 2 hours worth of AMVs to show, even if there were only 40 minutes worth of not saying great music videos, but videos that are above the line of even being worth showing. Like, it seems like they feel so bad about telling someone they're not going to show something that they show everything. And right along with that, most cons now have rules that if your video has already won an award anywhere, they don't want you to enter it. So it seems like once a video succeeds, it immediately disappears, and then people at Otakon never see it because it already won an award at AWA. Mm-hmm. And I guess Scott's got a third thing.
I think you're right.
Yeah. Well, my thing is, I remember his time back at RIT that some guy was watching an AMV on his laptop that his friend was in the process of making, and it was a really good Macross video. But, I was like, hey, can you send me that? Or, when is that? Because I wanted to see it because it was really good. And the attitude of the guy who was making it and the guy who was showing it to me were both, like, no, we're going to show it once at a convention and we're never going to put it on the internet or anything because we're all, assholes. So, and I remember looking for anime music videos to show at Anime Club. And I often found that, not everything was out on the internet to download, even stuff that was already out and
not stuff like, oh, it's an awesome video from the early 90s that's on a VHS tape and no one bothered to put it up, but people who have the digital format and specifically refuse to distribute it.
I get the feeling that the part of the reason why the good stuff doesn't come out is because the people who put so much time are less willing to freely distribute them, while the people who whipped up some crap, Lincoln Ball in 5 minutes, they want all their friends to see it, so they put it up on BitTorrent and everything for everyone in the whole world.
I guess I haven't really run into too many people who feel so possessive of their work that they want to keep it to themselves and make love to it. And
that might really be
doors.
A northern thing.
It might be.
Because Daryl and Gerald have also, to a degree, said that they don't see that so much, and we've seen it a lot.
Yeah,
but
I'm totally going on anecdotal evidence here, which is why I'm asking you.
Yeah, because to your credit, the guy we're talking about at Anime Club was kind of a scary fanboy in and of himself.
Indeed.
Yeah. But going back to one of your other points about how there are rules that say if your anime music video has already won an award, you can't enter it in this contest. And I agree that I think a lot of good stuff doesn't get shown because some people are just simply chasing the next contest and probably aren't willing to send their stuff to a general, or as willing to send something to a general showing. And I agree that sometimes it comes down to the stuff that makes the cut and the rest that gets shown in a general showing. And I think that's where you see a lot of the junk. Let's see, I'm trying to think now. Yeah, that pretty much covers it as far as I can tell, unless I think of something else. I'm old,
Well, I know what Rim's gonna. What would you think if there was a convention that wouldn't show a music video unless it had already won something in the previous year?
I would probably go for that. I think it would probably bring a lot of good competition into it, sort of a Royal Rumble of anime music videos. Not to steal the thunder of Iron Editor, which is doing a Royal Rumble type thing at OhioCon, which I just found out I'm a part of. Yeah, but I'd like to see that sort of like the best of the best, and maybe hold it at AWA as opposed to simply the AWA contest. Have like gather all, or we probably wouldn't be able to do all because there's so many conventions now, but a relative sampling of maybe the winning music videos from what would you consider to be the major conventions, Otakon and Anime Expo and A-Kon and Anime Central, AWA, etc., and then pit those against each other.
Yeah, basically,
I think that'd be a good idea.
I'm just for anything that'll make it easy for people to see good videos and recognize that they're good videos, because then maybe people will, I don't know, either not make crap videos, or at least the crap videos will kind of exist, but they'll be static. They won't be out on the forefront like they are now, because it's so hard to find good AMVs. I've seen maybe 2 that were new that I've liked in the past, 7 years?
Yeah. Yeah, that is a question.
That's not the size of it.
How do you find new good music videos short of going to all the conventions and looking at the winners? I mean, I've been to animemusicvideos.org, not recently. I'm sure you use that site a lot more than I do. But
I use it when I can stand to use it. Sometimes it just becomes a cesspool that I have to step away from.
It's exactly what I'm trying to get at. Is when I used it, years past, it was always very, very difficult to search, and there was no way to say, "Show me the most popular video right now." Give it to me. Show me something I
can honestly say that whenever I went to amvs.org and I was looking for a specific music video, it was great. But if I was just browsing by song or by anime or by whatever, I don't think I ever found anything by accident that wasn't horrible.
That's the sad thing. Were you using the quick search or were you using the super powerful super search?
I think I've used both of those.
It's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I was searching because I was looking for stuff to show to clubs. So I remember I would search like very specifically, like I want this anime without spoilers, and I'd pick like different genres of music, and I'd poke around and just looking for some, because we always had to pick like something high energy, something slow, something sappy, maybe something funny.
Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the main page for the org right now, and on the right-hand side, there's the top list, the top 10% videos, the top star scale, the top favorite videos, the most commented videos, the most used anime, the most used music, the most underrated, which I'm not sure how they figure that out. Maybe it's the one that's got the...
Maybe it's the one a lot of people watch, but no one votes on or anything. I don't know.
That's exactly right. Here are the 50 most downloaded videos with the fewest opinions left for them. So I would suggest giving that another shot if you haven't been there in a while.
Yeah, I've actually never seen that. So
it has been 4 years since I went to animemusicvideos.org on purpose.
Well, I went to it to look at your profile, and I didn't look at any other pages.
Smart man.
All right, so why don't we talk about like the process of making a music video? Because
without technical details
that will put everyone to sleep.
Just like I guess to break it down, what's the core things you need to do to make a music video that isn't just utter ass?
Okay. Well, let me try to just go through the process in which I do it. I'll usually hear a song that I really like and think that, hey, this might go with a particular anime that I've got or I can get a hold of. And then just start... my process is probably different than other people, but I start storyboarding it out in my head. I'll take specific lyrics and then think that this particular scene from episode 3 would work really well here. And, well, let's see. Nowadays, I'll just open up Premiere, have the timeline sitting there right in front of me blank, lay the music down, get all of my footage converted from DVD to a format that is easier to edit with, and then just start plunking down scenes in maybe about 2-second increments or so until and then just preview it and play it, and then fix it, and then preview it and play it again. And that's why nonlinear editing on the computer is so much more fun than doing it on videotape. And then just, and I don't consider putting effects in until I get everything more or less laid down, unless I know specifically I want to have a dissolve here. I want to transition nice and slow from this two-shot of the two students in love to a close-up of the guy, and then dissolve again to the close-up of the girl. If I don't have anything like this specifically in mind, then I'll just lay everything down, cut to cut to cut. And once I get all that laid down, if I can, my yardstick is if I get the whole thing finished and rendered and play it out. If I can sit there and I'm smiling by the end, just by like thinking that that went really well together, then I know it's a pretty decent video. But you got to have, I'll just go back to it, you got to have respect for your sources. You got to know what it is you're editing with, what video it is. And that's why it's so dangerous to tackle big TV series sometimes, that unless you've watched it several times and know it inside and out, then you're going to be strapped for footage, and then you start grabbing random stuff and throwing it in just to fill this little 1 second hole you've got.
Wow, I actually never thought of that, but it makes sense, because I think half the videos I see at cons now, and they only cover like the first 9 episodes of a show, because someone seemed like they wanted to get the video out as soon as the show finished, and they didn't actually pay attention.
I've also noticed a lot more various videos, whereas back in the day, there were usually a lot more single show videos.
I think that, for me anyway, that speaks to the shortening attention span of people these days. One of the things that I was taught in college was that it's called the 4-second rule, and this probably applies more towards general video production. But you never hold a shot for more than 4 seconds unless it's really justified, because by that time your audience is getting bored and wants you to move on. I find that nowadays for general editing, it's more like a 2-second rule. And when you get down to the nitty-gritty with anime music videos, it's even smaller than that. You got to have cut, and keep moving on to the next new thing. And I think that's why there are more various videos, is that people can't hold an idea for 2.5 to 3 minutes or 3.5 minutes. They just come up with a bunch of short gags and short things that they can string together into one song, or in the case of the AMV Hell projects, dozens of little snippets that are unconnected and unrelated and put together into one monstrous video. And those are good. But I think that speaks to why there aren't as many good music videos these days. It's because people just can't hold their attention long enough to edit it.
I agree with you so much it hurts.
This, Lazy Town?
Well, not just Lazy Town. We won't get into that. But just in the 4 years I was at RIT in the anime club, and when I was a freshman, I wasn't running the club or anything, just watching it. The average music video they showed was between 3 and 5 minutes long. And some of the, I mean, there were literally ones I remember where it would just show a character kind of sitting there, or like one shot of a character walking for, I don't know, 8, 9, 10 seconds. And they were good videos, but they were just long and sentimental. And in the 4 years until when I was eventually president of the club, the videos that people hated those videos. They'd boo if a video went on for more than 2 minutes. And they just,
they're bored.
They wanted, the only videos they liked were robots fighting very quickly with effects.
Or something that was incredibly hilarious.
Yeah.
Like
funny is good, but action and, well, not action, but effects, overuse of effects for simply effect's sake is another one of the downfalls of modern music videos, in my estimation. Is that getting back to the technology that you guys mentioned earlier, there's so much of it out there now between Premiere, After Effects, Photoshop, Sony Vegas, and all the other professional stuff that's out there. It puts so much power at your disposal. There's so many. You could literally just throw an effect down every second of your entire song, and probably not exhaust all the permutations that are available to you. And I'd be willing to bet that some people have actually tried that, given the way things are these days. But effects for effects' sake are not good. Even if you're making a dance video, that's okay, because you want to have something flashy and upbeat that is
like Mambaleo, which is one of my favorite videos.
Yeah,
that's a tight video. I like that one a lot because it's so tight.
It seems like I think he used Flash to make that, a lot of it.
Really?
At least that's what it seems like, with like the like the little stars going across the screen.
You can do that with things other than Flash.
That's what someone told me.
Yes.
Who? Are you sure it wasn't no one?
I'm sure someone told me that they used Flash to make that video.
Now you're gonna make me go to this guy's entry on it to see it.
No, it's not necessary.
Well, yes, it is. No, it isn't really. was made in 2001, so I don't know if Flash was really that powerful at that point.
Oh wow,
No,
that's
it
a
was.
long time
I mean,
ago.
I know it was around because I used it in classes at RIT, but
Yeah.
at least in terms of people booing the 5-minute videos in Anime Club by the time I was ready to leave, I can tell you there's a glimmer of hope because even though the crowd got really uneasy and kind of restless during the long videos, they always stayed and watched him anyway, and a lot of times they would say things later to the effect of, man, I started to realize that some of those things were good, or they'd start to recognize what a good video was as long as we forced them to watch them, whether they wanted to or not. It's like you give them the bad medicine, and then they realize that the bad medicine makes them feel real good.
Yeah, and we always put whatever AMVs we showed on an FTP for people to download if they came to the meeting.
Yeah, the
and
crowd
they would always download them.
They'd bitch and bitch and bitch, like, why'd you show that 10-minute long, well, not 10 minutes long, but the 5-minute thing to Kimagure Orange Road that was totally sentimental and lame, and then they download that one more than anything.
Because they've had a chance to think about it and watch it again and digest it instead of simply trying to bolt it down.
Or they're just crazy fans who like to collect every single possible video on their hard drives, and then they have a stack of CDs or DVDs next to their computer.
Hey, anything that tricks them into watching good stuff and appreciating it is fine by me.
Yeah. But I just remember all those guys who would they'd be like, oh, I have 7 bajillion music videos at my hard drive. Ha ha ha.
Well, it's the same thing. We'd always trick people who didn't want to watch an old show to come into club by showing them flashy music videos and giving them prizes and crap. But then we'd show them this old show that they'd talk about how much they thought they'd hate, and then they'd love it, and then they'd want to see more, and a new anime fan would be born.
Yes. But then you got to be a good parent. You've done it now.
Honestly, yeah, it did get annoying when eventually people would keep asking the people who ran the club, well, what should I watch now? I just watched all of Harlock, blah, 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 blah. Wasn't it awesome when Captain Harlock did the blah? Ah, oh my god.
Yeah, it's rather annoying, fanboy people.
That's a whole other
If you start
show.
them on Harlock, that's a good. If you start them on Harlock, that's a pretty good start.
Well, I think what the biggest showing ever was like the Macross Plus movie, right?
Yeah, that.
But then we showed that in 2000, so it wasn't too new back then. It was still.
That wasn't the biggest showing ever, but it was definitely the biggest showing for many years in both directions at the club.
Yeah.
That's good. There are not too many things you can go wrong with as far as Macross Plus is concerned. Now, if it was Macross 2, then you got a problem. Macross 2 was total ass.
I took a tape of Macross 2 out of the club library.
Why?
I had to see what it was.
I could have told you what it was.
You didn't know.
Because Scott Johnson told me not to get it when I picked it up one day. I didn't know what it was either.
Well, dang. No one told me. And that was before. It must have been before. So it was like one of the first things I took. So, all right.
Yeah, the opening theme kicks in. This is pretty good. And then you get to the dubbing, and they speak.
Oh, this wasn't
with
dubbing.
such
This was a fan sub.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you're lucky. The dub is notoriously bad for Macross 2.
It was bad even with the fan sub.
Yeah, it's true.
All right. I think we can pretty much wrap up the AMV discussion. It was wonderful to have you on the show. And to all
Thanks
you
a lot for
listeners
having
out
me.
there who disagree with us, suck it. This guy's an expert, and we agree on a lot of things.
And so anyone who comes
Respect
up,
your elders, kids.
anyone who comes on the forums and says blah blah blah, you guys are wrong about X, Y, or Z. Well, sorry, we win.
So I guess
And I'm on the forums, too, so I'll know.
yeah, he will. He's
Uh-oh.
there.
Watch out.
Though I guess for fun, we always like to do this. We'd like to ask one final question, not related to anime music videos, but what would name your top 3 favorite anime? Not anime you think are good, but anime that you love. Just to get a perspective as to what kind of fan you are.
Oh, man.
Yeah, it's a heady question. The whole internet is going
a
to
heavy
judge
question.
you based on this.
You don't have to give a particular order or anything. Just
Okay. Well, that's
yeah.
good.
I mean, I'll go forth. I'll say right up that Captain Tyler and Utena are some of my favorite shows ever, and Urusei Yatsura.
The
second
movie.
movie.
Tyler. I haven't seen it, but I know it's good.
You've never seen
I really
okay.
enjoyed.
Oh.
I know. A good friend of mine, Ryan Gavin, is a big Tyler fan, so I need to get it from him. But yeah, I know it's good. I just haven't had a chance to see it yet.
I
As far
can't
as
tell
my
you how many
three,
shows are like that for me. Oh, no.
Yeah, way too many. I love Cowboy Bebop. I am a big fan of giant robot shows, but if I had to narrow it down to one, I would probably have to say Mazinger Z, because it is so over the top.
You want to know something real special? Mazinger Z is the logo of the RIT Anime Club.
No, it's the Great Mazinger. The Great Mazinger.
Well, the Great Mazinger.
The Great Mazinger is the official club mascot. that is what it is.
Yeah, but it's a tiny little logo, so
Yeah.
close enough.
I can't tell you how many
Well,
times I'll wear the RIT Anime Club shirt to conventions, and people won't say, "Oh, RIT Anime." They'll go, "Oh, great messenger," even though it's this poorly drawn SD version of him. People know what it is, and they're like, "Oh my God, there you are."
I'm also a big fan of Mobile Police Pad Labor.
Oh, I love Pat LeVar. No, Rim doesn't like it.
It's not that I don't like it; it's that I don't love it.
I love it
Mhm.
a lot.
I
It's awesome.
definitely respect those movies for being all 10 sides of awesome.
I got screwed watching it though, because I tried to watch it in Club on the tapes, and the way they had the tapes at Club was the first episode in the tape would be like OAV episode 1, and then the other 3 episodes in the tape would be TV 1, 2, 3, and then tape 2.
Oh yeah.
Tape 2 was OAV episode 2, TV 4, 5, 6. So I didn't watch all the tapes because the year was over by the time I got halfway through, and so now I've seen like half of the OAV and half of the TV series. But I've seen all 3 movies, which are probably the best part of it. But yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know about the third one. I've never seen the third one. I've heard it's not very good, but the first
Oh.
and the second are good. And I finally got the limited collector's edition DVD that Daryl Surratt has owed me for months. So
Oh, that's right. You
clutches.
were the one who was supposed to get that.
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, the
But it's a fantastic movie.
the
The music is
$50
great.
box thingy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna exercise some executive privilege and throw out a couple more titles that I like.
Go nuts.
Project A-ko.
That was one of the first anime I ever saw. I'm all about Project A-ko.
You want to know
Yes.
something? I never saw it.
What?
Never saw
Really?
it. Really?
Oh.
I'll put it in Netflix at the top.
I have Project A-ko, the comic book, like issue 1 that I bought at that crap con.
Forget that. You don't want to read the comic.
Was that the one that Tim Elder did the art for?
I don't know. I bought it at that crappy New Jersey Shore convention thing in the 25-cent bin. I'll go take a look at it. I also bought
Right.
Pete a copy of the Lensman comic.
Oh god. Well, hey, I bought that MD Geist comic.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Oh, the pain.
I have I
a
also
few
have
more
New Kids
titles.
on the Block episode 1.
What are you doing? What's wrong with you?
It was 5 cents. It's hilarious to have.
You can't spend 10 cents on a
Oh.
comic. What do you think? Let me throw out a few more titles for you. Bubblegum Crisis, the original, not 2040. The original.
I think you and me are
Even
the
if it's
only
only-
people who like that.
I haven't
well,
actually seen any Bubblegum Crisis.
But you
so-
always put it down.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
When have I put it down?
Many times.
No.
Yeah.
I put down a lot of things. I don't put down Bubblegum Crisis.
Anyway.
Yeah.
All right, go
You don't
on.
even need to watch all 8. Do like the first 2 or the first 3, and you'll be good. Of course, Akira, Miyazaki films. The whole gamut of Miyazaki films I love. One of the very first scenes I ever saw as a budding anime fan was the car chase from the beginning of Castle Cagliostro.
Ooh.
And it
Mm.
remains one of my favorite scenes of all time. Second, maybe to the other car chase that takes place in one of the other Lupin films, Plot of the Fuma Clan.
Oh.
Puma Conspiracy is by far the best
Yes.
Lupin movie.
Yeah, that and Cagliostro are neck and neck for the best Lupin in my eyes.
That's right. We got to buy that box that has the Lupin movies in it. Oh, that just came out.
Yeah.
Shit. Go order that,
And
Rim.
finally, let me just throw out Dirty Pair, TV series, and especially the Project Eden movie.
I know
that
that's the
is
show with the girls with
fantastic
the
stuff.
boobs, but I never saw it.
Yeah, but Dirty Pair, the original Dirty Pair, not Dirty Pair Flash, which is a pale imitation that came later, but the original Dirty Pair. And this probably has nothing to do with the fact that 2 of my friends from long ago, the Forrester sisters, were one of the first in the United States to do Dirty Pair cosplay. And let me throw out an old fart memory for you. I think in Project 8Con 3 or 4, they did a panel on how they constructed their costumes and sewed them. It was held in one of the hotel rooms. It was packed to the gills with sweaty fanboys, and you could literally feel the temperature in that room at least 10 degrees hotter than it was in the home.
Reminds me of
the air conditioning could not keep up.
that reminds me of all the DDR rooms that have been recently set up at many conventions. All right.
So there you go, guys.
This has been Geek Nights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music.
Be sure to visit our website at www.frontrowcrew.com, where you'll find show notes, links, our awesome forum, a link to our Frapper map, and links to all the RSS feeds.
We say feeds plural because Geek Nights airs 4 nights a week, covering 4 different brands of geekery. Mondays are science and technology. Tuesdays, we have video games, board games, and RPGs. Wednesdays are anime, manga, comic nights. And Thursdays are the catch-alls for various rants and tomfoolery.
You can send us feedback by email to geeknights@frontrowcrew.com. Or you can send audio feedback via audio. Just click the link that says Send Me an Audio on the right side of our website.
If you like what you hear, you can catch the last 100 episodes in iTunes or in your favorite podcatcher. For the complete archives, visit the website, which has everything.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike 2.5 license. This means you can do whatever you want with it as long as you give us credit, don't make money, and share it in kind. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.